So today I'm sitting in my basement. It's the middle of winter. It's starting to get cold outside. I don't really want to do anything else. So this fall from the lake, I brought these two stained glass windows. I took them out of the bunkhouse and brought them home. And then during the summertime, I was able to get some actual stained glass from a specialty store in Saskatchewan. I can't pull those apart, but I'll flip the camera around. As you can see, the one is like a pink color. It looks a little more brown, just against the wood panel, but it is a little pink. Not this really red pink, kind of a darker pink, and then there's a green back there and just a frosted clear. So what I'm gonna do is I got this heat gun here. This part of my case is kind of in the way. And I'm gonna use that to heat up the putty. This is probably the worst kind of putty because it's about 3 years old. And so it's basically just cured. And it's not like cracking or anything, like it's just the paint there that's cracking because I painted it when it was still wet. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'll try a little bit and see what I can do. Hopefully I don't damage it too much. This is gonna be a bit of a shame because I spent a lot of time, like these angles here were really hard to do, but whatever, the glass is peeling, so it's not gonna work. Okay, so that seemed to have worked surprisingly well. This newer stuff, it was like almost still soft. Like it, after like, you know, the first layer, the stuff underneath is still, like this is cold to the touch. This isn't warm yet. But I feel like I can still mold that. Isn't that crazy? Like it is a little bit powdery, but I can still feel the squishy texture to it. But anyways, that only took, you know, a couple minutes to do that piece. So yeah, that was kind of my, now I better keep these. I better mark these, actually. I'll go do that, and then I'll just trace them to cut new ones. And then because some of these, like, they weren't, you know, exactly, like you can kind of see that one. I mean, that's more just my glazing. I'll try and get that a bit better, but I'll just trace these onto there and then put them in, and then I won't have any issues. So I'll keep going on this. Maybe try and get some better lighting down here so I can do a better video. So a bit of a midway update here. This is going pretty good. Lots of mess, unfortunately, but it's all pretty much being contained on the table here, so I can just vacuum it up. But yeah, it's coming. Well, I'm halfway there on the removal, so what I'm gonna do now is flip this around, but I'll clean all this stuff up first, and then it'll be easier for me to read. Alright, now time to get to work on this side. that pretty much has it ready for glass. But before I do glass, I'm gonna make myself do that one because I'm excited to do the glass, and if I get doing that first, then that one's just gonna sit forever and not get done. So I better do them both at the same time. That way they all get done at the same time, and I don't have that one sitting there in May, having not done anything on it yet, waiting to go to the lake. All right, so I got that all cleaned out, and now I'm on to the glass, which is a little scary because this was pretty expensive. I think this $11.56 means per square foot, and this, it's what, like 3 by 4-ish? So just this sheet of glass was like well over $100. If I can remember, that was back in the summer when I bought this. But yeah, it's kind of a cool pink. Like, it's leaning against the brown again, but I don't know, like it's almost kind of an orangey dark purple kind of thing. Like I said, it won't look that bright, but it'll still be pink. And I was told that there's actually gold in here. Like, that's the reason pink is so expensive, is because they somehow mix gold in it to get that color. So I'm not really sure on the chemistry behind that, but if there's anyone who's familiar with stained glass out there, maybe they can enlighten me. All right, now the biggest piece of pink that I'm gonna need, I guess first I should say there's not really a grain to this texture. It's all random. Like, you know, just thinking about how I was gonna do this, like I wanted, if there was like a grain, which I thought it was, but it turns out it's not. It's just random. I don't think you'll be able to tell the orientation. But like, I wanted it to be all horizontal, right? But the most efficient way to cut these is like this. The length from here to here is 4 3/4. But from here, it would probably be like, you know, 6 inches or something. So what I'm gonna do, because these are the biggest pieces I need, 4 3/4, I'm just gonna measure out. And you know, cutting glass, it's not like cutting wood. Like, you have to waste it. Like, you can't come in here and jigsaw out whatever shape you need. Like, cutting glass is essentially a controlled break. So things like inside corners and stuff like that are impossible to do without, you know, like a diamond wheel or something. Like, I've actually seen, when I was in Morocco in like 2016 on a school trip, I saw some stained glass, and they actually had, like, it was the Queen Anne style. Maybe I'll put a picture up if I can figure out how to do that. But it had like inside corners cut in the glass, which I thought was interesting. So yeah, I'll grab a straight edge and get to cutting this. All right, so here we go. Grab my glass cutter, wherever I put it. Here it is. Now, like I say, I'm kind of nervous to do this. This is my first time working with actual stained glass, which is really expensive stuff. So here we go. Okay, now to break this, I'll do it like I usually do, flip it over and tap on the back. All right, I got that flipped over. Now my score line is right here. Just kind of gently tap that through. stress level is high right now. I do not want to break this. Should have laid something under it. There we go. All right. That should be done with the pink. I can put the rest of that big sheet away. Now, if I put this towards the light, you can kind of sort of see the color. It doesn't really show up that well on camera. In real life, it looks a bit more pink. All right, so first, diamond shape traced on here. Where did I put my straight edge? Oh, here it is. Not that I really need it for this little tiny piece, but it helps. Tiny pieces aren't nearly as stressful. And I should mention when I cut it, I don't know if you can see here, but there's a rough side, textured side, and a smooth side. I'm always scoring on the smooth side, so that just makes it easier. Boom. And then when I put these in, I'll put the textured side to the inside of the window. Might have to kind of fiddle with the direction on these. Scrape a bit more of that putty out of there. There, goes nicely into that one. So, yeah. Okay, I'll get the rest of those diamonds cut out and then work on the little pink squares. All right, well now I'm on to the green. I got all my pink pieces that I need cut out. No scary incidents with losing a lot of money breaking glass. But now I'm on to this stuff, which is a little bit less expensive, not much. I think it said 9 something a square foot. So I don't know what this sheet was, probably like 80 bucks. But let's try this big cut. All right, so I had my first little mistake. I went to cut this off the big sheet. Luckily it wasn't anything too serious, but I just didn't, you know, progress the crack far enough before trying to snap it off. And it was like cracked through all along here, but nothing on this end. So when I went to break it off, then it snapped in the wrong spot. But that probably won't even be a big deal because I don't think this will interfere with a full piece at all. So yeah, be more careful next time, I guess. All right, I got all the green cut. Didn't use a whole lot more of the green than I did the pink. They were mainly all really small straight pieces. Now I'm on to the clear frosted, which is gonna go where the clear and white stuff was before. These will be a little tricky. I don't know if that'll waste a lot of material or what, but I'm trying to lay this out so I cut it whichever way will make more sense and try not to waste as much as possible. All right, just working on the clear triangles here. Now I gotta make sure I cut this the right way. It's difficult to explain what I'm doing here. Okay, then I get these two little triangles, and the reason I have to choose which angle to go on is because that'll determine which is shiny side and which is rough side facing out. Because if I were to try, like this one has to go right here, but if I were to try and put it here, like this is the shiny side, I wouldn't be able to get it without flipping it to the rough side. So that's just kind of the complicated geometry of it, but there, that is all the clear stuff done now. Now basically what's left is just put the glazing putty in, and yeah, that'll be done. Now that looks like some real stained glass right there. That window looks like it could actually be 100 years old. Look around back. Looks pretty cool. Now just to get the putty in there. Alright, so now that I got the glass in here, I think I'm going to do that window first, just so I don't get tired and neglect to actually do it. And yeah. One down and one more to go. Turned out all right. Nothing amazing, but it'll work once I get paint on it. And then this one's going to be a little more difficult with all these tight angles and stuff. All right, so moving on to the bigger window here, and it was suggested in my Facebook group that I do a tutorial on how to do this. I believe I did a couple tutorials actually, like a long time ago, probably 2 years ago, back when I originally made that other window I was working on. I'll try and put those in those little boxes at the end of the video that pop up so you can go back and see those. But I know there's a lot of new people on my channel since then, so I'll just go ahead and do another video here. So what I'm using is glazing putty. It's called DAP 33 glazing compound. They sell it in bigger containers, but those are harder to find. So I usually just get the small ones. But basically what it is, it's kind of like a dough type thing. Like it's kind of an oil base, like a linseed oil type thing. And yeah, like I don't really know what the composition of it is, but kind of like a doughy mixture. But anyways, what I do, I'll focus on this little panel as a demo. Take the ball and you just kind of knead it, like get it all worked in and everything like that. And then I just go and work it into the rabbited edge there. Usually I'll like flip the window around like you just saw in the time lapse that I did, but this one's so big I might just have to work on it in one position. Then I take my little glazing bar here and then press everything in so it is nice and tight. This is where it's kind of nice to be on the right side of it. Trying to work around on the wrong side is a bit difficult. And then once that's done, you just kind of sort of guess where that rabbited edge is there. So I'm going to take a guess at about there. And I'm usually pretty close. It doesn't really matter if it's off a bit, you'll never notice. There's one finished. Now I'll try and reach around the camera here. Keep that corner somewhat nice. Oh, that one might be a bit wide. That's just because I'm trying to reach around the camera. But if it's a bit wide, you can just go back and cut it down a bit. Or, oh, maybe that was right on. Whatever. Straighten out the corner a bit. And then this one. Okay, let's see if I can even do this. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to put the putty back a little bit, because then when you paint right onto the glass, and then it creates a nice seal. You have to kind of have a steadier hand for this, which my hand isn't that steady. It's a bit shaky. Not as steady as I used to be. There, and then that's kind of the idea. And then when you paint it, like, you know, those rougher spots, they'll be hidden quite well by the paint. So yeah, that's basically the idea of puttying a wood window. Alright, well the video kind of cut off through that time lapse there. I think I ran out of space on my phone pretty much. But anyways, that's the end of this. Angles turned out, I'm pointing at all the bad ones, not too bad. Like I say, the paint will cover it. I think what I'll do, like I'll let this sit, like some of the corners I didn't even really try to clean up. I'll let this just sit here for a couple months, and then once it firms up just a little bit, before I paint it, I'll come back and kind of clean up the corners. This one I don't really care about because it's on the back of the building, high up, you never see it, but this one's right on the veranda at eye level, so I kind of want to make it as nice as possible. But anyways, that's the stained glass. I'm gonna try to get into Saskatoon sometime and get some different colors to do the stained glass for the saloon. But I have to get back to the lake first and take some more measurements to know exactly the size of the panels, because I don't think I did that. But anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all the links and stuff in the description. And we'll see you next time. Stay healthy, everyone.